Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led his flock beyond the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of a bush. He looked, and the bush was blazing, yet it was not consumed. Then Moses said, I must turn aside and look at this great sight, and why the bush is not burned up. When the Lord saw that he had turned aside to see, God called to him out of the bush, and Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Come no closer. Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place on which you stand is holy ground. He said, he said further, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have observed the misery of my people who are in Egypt. I have heard the quiet accounts of their taskmasters. Indeed, I know their sufferings, and I have come down to deliver them from the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land to a land of good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey, to the country of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The cry of the Israelites has now come to me. I have also seen how the Egyptians oppressed them. So come, I will send you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and this shall be the sign of you that it is I who sent you. When you brought the people out of Egypt, you shall worship God on this mountain. But Moses said to God, If I come to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your ancestors has sent me to you, and they ask me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. He said further, Thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Thus you shall say to the Israelites, The Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my title for all generations. Go and assemble the elders of Israel, and say to them, The Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and of Jacob has appeared to me. I have given heed to you and to what has been done to you in Egypt. I declare that I will bring you up out of the misery of Egypt, to the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. They will listen to your voice, and you and the elders of Israel shall go to the king of Egypt and say to him, The Lord, the God of Hebrews, has met with us. Let us now go on a 3 days journey into the wilderness, so that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. I know, however, that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless compelled by a mighty hand. So I'll stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all my wonders that I will perform in it. After that, he will let you go. I will bring these people into such favor with the Egyptians that when you go, you will not go empty handed. Each woman shall ask her neighbor, and any woman living in the neighbor's house, for jewelry of silver and of gold, and clothing, and you shall put them on your sons and on your daughters. And so you shall plunder the Egyptians. But Moses answered, But suppose they do not believe me or listen to me, but say, The Lord did not appear to you. The Lord said to him, What is that in your hand? A staff. Throw it on the ground. So he threw the staff on the ground and became a snake, and Moses drew back from it. The Lord said to Moses, Reach out your hand and seize it by the tail. He reached out and seized it by the tail. So he reached out his hand and grasped it, and it became a staff on his hand, so that they may so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has appeared to you. Again, the Lord said, Put your hand inside your cloak. He put his hand into his cloak. And when he took it out, his hand was leprous, as white as snow. Then God said, Put your hand back into your cloak. So he put his hand back into his cloak. And when he took it out, it was restored like the rest of his body. If they will not believe you or heed the first sign, they may believe the second sign. If they will not believe you, even these two signs, or heed you, you shall take some water from the Nile and pour on the dry ground, and the water that you shall take from the Nile will become blood on the dry ground. But Moses said to the Lord, O my Lord, I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor even now, that you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. The Lord said to him, Who gives speech to mortals? Who makes them mute or deaf, seen or blind? It is not I, the Lord. Now go, and I'll be with your mouth and teach you what you are to speak. Oh, my Lord, please send someone else. Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, and he said, what of your brother Aaron, the Levite? I know that he can speak fluently. Even now he is coming out to meet you. When he sees you, his heart will be glad. You shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth, and I will bring you with your mouth and with his mouth, and will teach you what you shall do. He indeed shall speak for you to the people. He shall serve as a mouth for you, and you shall serve as God for him, taking in your hand the staff with which you shall perform the signs. Moses went back to his father-in-law Jethro and said to him, please, let me go to my kindred in Egypt and see whether they are still living. And Jethro said to Moses, go in peace. The Lord said to Moses and Miriam, go back to Egypt, for all those who are seeking your life are dead. So Moses took his wife and his sons and put them on a donkey and went back to the land of Egypt. And Moses carried the staff of God in his hand. When you go back to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders that I have put in your power, but I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. Then you shall say to Pharaoh, thus says the Lord, Israel is my firstborn son. Let my son go that he may worship me. But if you refuse to let him go, now I will kill your firstborn son. On the way at a place where they spent the night, the Lord met with him and tried to kill him. Tried to kill Moses. After he told him the things that needed to change in Egypt. The meaningful things that God said about changing the world. And then Moses decided to kill Moses. God decided to kill Moses. A bridegroom of blood by circumcision.